Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a very special Friday morning edition of the Empower Man podcast. This is our second take because we've had some issues in our prior take. And let's
Shocker.
hope that there are no more issues going forward. But if there are, we will send you all parts of the Empower Man podcast as soon as we're able to edit it. But it's your boy Mikey G coming to you live from the free state of Florida. And today I'm joined by the man who gets me highly caffeinated. He puts the eye in ice. He will deport you if you look at him funny. If you jump on the hood of his car during a peaceful protest, he will find you and he will kill you. He's the parent, the patriot, the champion of the Second Amendment. He's also Chrissy Nome's private bodyguard. The one and only Greg A. Tedora, number one. Greggy T, sir, how the heck are you?
I'm good, man. Good morning. I'm gonna get a knock at my door now for multiple reasons, but yeah, it's a good Friday morning. Can't complain. Got some coffee coming in from. I know you got your Poughkeepsie blend, so let's hear it.
Adams Fairacre Farms Rhinebeck Blend. Thank you for getting me highly caffeinated. And I have to apologize to the audience first and foremost because I am only a cup and a half in. I have 3.5 cups to go.
You got time. You like their coffee.
I like any coffee that I can grind the beans. Unlike some people on this podcast who likes it flavored.
Listen.
But it's okay. We don't judge.
I dabble. So I'm getting my blackout coffee today. They're down near you somewhere in Florida, which I love. And I got some flavors. I got toasted coconut. I got their blueberry crumble, cherry chocolate. You know me. I like my sweets. So I'll try a little coffee flavor every once in a while. But you know me. I'm hardcore old school Bustelo guy.
You know, and I have to agree with you on that one. There are two. I'm gonna throw this out there. All right, Cafe Bustelo is a necessity. Got to have it in the house.
Yeah,
have it on backup. It's like
staple. It's a staple.
It's like getting a generator for your house, right? You've got that backup in case the lights go out. You turn the generator on in case you run out of beans. Bang! I got my Bustelo, and it's vacuum sealed, always fresh. I'm gonna throw another one out there for you.
Okay.
Maxwell House.
I'm going Folgers Classic Roast.
They've been around forever, but I tell you, when you're in a pinch, Maxwell House, Folgers, Black. Oh, is it Black Silk?
Black Silk's good.
Very good. That's our dark. That's our really dark roast, right?
Chock full of nuts is just that. I think it tastes like shit. So whatever, they're off the list. But
yeah.
Just saying.
But my cousin loves chock full of nuts. That's all she has in her house.
I respect the heritage. It's been around a while. So
New York too.
Yeah.
Speaking of heritage, Greggy T, got to
Mm-hmm.
give a shout out to our firemen and women, our policemen and women, our ICE agents, people on the first responders, people boots on the ground, our immediate line of defense. Thank you for what you guys do to keep our communities safe and sound, especially sending all of our best to our friends in LA. Our ICE agents out there, they are doing a tremendous job sifting through all of the chaos. Men and women out there, stay safe, stay vigilant.
Yeah, things are heating up, as always. Perfect time, summer, temperatures heating up. All the bullshit in all the major cities are heating up. It'll spill over. You're your only defense. When things get real, no one's coming. So make sure you have a plan. I don't care what it is. Just have a plan. And watch your back. And to obviously all the military personnel with all that shit going on, be careful and come back safe.
100%.
Yeah.
And also with today being Friday the 13th, tomorrow is Flag Day. So to any American out there, wave a flag, something that's red, white, and blue, something that is symbolic of the now 249-year history of our country. It will be 250 next year. A lot of brave men and women sacrificed themselves so that Greg and I can have this platform, so that you can go out with your girls or your boys or whatever you guys want to do. You have that freedom because of the men and women that laid it all on the line for us that paid that ultimate price so that we could be here. So just remember that when you're waving an American flag. And for those out there that have an objection with our flag, it's your First Amendment right. You can do that. Just don't denigrate it. Spit on it, light it on fire. That's really a slap in the face to no matter what your views are. Someone's son or daughter died for that.
Yeah.
So at least try to find it in your heart to have a little bit of respect, even if we don't agree. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Tomorrow's Flag Day, but it's also
I know where we're going with this.
It's Amanda's block party at Boundless Nutrition. She does it. It's like her big summer bash once a year. I'm bringing the girls because I brought Farrah last year, and Lawrence is going to come with us, and we're going to have an awesome time. She's known for sampling the aminos and being brutally honest with the owners on the taste. It's actually pretty funny. So she's excited.
Where does she get that from?
I don't know. The apple didn't even fall out of the tree in that category. So good. I'm glad. She likes her aminos.
And on top of that, tomorrow is President Trump's 79th birthday. So we'll be partying down here in Florida. Because remember, down here in Florida, if you cross that line of peaceful protests, you are done.
Brevard County Sheriff, man, laid it out yesterday.
Woo!
Different breed down there.
Yeah. That's why. And you'll appreciate this from now until I think July 4th. There's no tax on ammunition.
I wish.
No,
I wish.
They have it down here. That's what he said. He said that.
Can I ship it in bulk here?
Sure, I'll go to the gun range and see what I can find for you.
That'd be great, actually, because it's expensive up here.
I'm sure it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When you have limited rights onto what you can and can't do,
yeah.
If you want to play, you got to pay.
Listen, shout out Delta Level Defense. I think they're in Stratford here in Connecticut. They build some of the best guns. The owner's awesome, and they're good people. So if you want a really good rifle decked out, go to them. No bullshit.
Well, Greg, I'm going to move on a little bit here.
Yeah.
We were talking before we came on the air. I thought it was a really good thing. We talk about parenting. You know, we've talked about it a lot, and we don't need to go into a real detail-oriented episode. We could save it for another, like a part 2.
Yeah.
But, you know, parenting seems to be, you mentioned this term, helicopter parenting. I think parenting in the 21st century has so many more challenges than it did in the 20th century. Different things are being thrown at us at a record speed, whether it's, you know, social media, news, you know, the amount of, you know, what, how you're supposed to raise your kids, what a son and daughter is supposed to be. There's so many different things. You know, growing up for me, my parents were divorced. So it was a little bit of a different dynamic. And, you know, what makes this show great is that you and I can give both sides of the spectrum on a lot of the stories. You had your mom and dad there. And, you know, I'm going to start with you first, since you do have kids. And I don't know if I have any kids, haven't gotten any weird phone calls. I did have a fun life before I decided to grow up. Greggy T, share some of your insights growing up, parenting, what your mom and dad were like, and how you've been able to take that into now raising two young girls.
Yeah, so I think the environment, you're right, it's the whole landscape of parenting has changed, which it usually does generation to generation because of outside X factors. You have to adapt and roll with it, like technology and social media and all that stuff. So it's never going to be the same generation to generation. The morals and the values can be the same, and I think should be the same if you have good examples. That can stay the course. You just have to navigate all the other, you know, noises that are thrown at you in the day to day. I had a great childhood. I have an older sibling, so I was the younger, and I was a boy. I have an older sister. Things are different, I think, when you have a boy than a girl, and I'm not in a bad way, but I had maybe a little bit more freedom just because second child is like when you have the first child, at least you're very, you know, protective and on top. And the second, you've been down that road before, you have a little bit of experience, so you're like, yeah, they're fine. So you're a little easier on them and not so much on top. So but I just try to literally blueprint everything that they showed me, taught me, instilled in me, and I want to take all of it and pass it to the girls. Everything as best I can with the challenges of today because they didn't have that. They didn't have social media, and so my big thing is the predatory environment that's out there now. Growing up in Westchester, we had the man in the blue van or something. It was like a big, I don't know if it was folk or it was real. It probably was real.
Yeah.
Because we used to ride our bikes everywhere and do all that. Everyone says this on Instagram. Meanwhile, most people didn't do it. But like we literally played until it got dark, and we were house to house in the neighborhood, like the whole nine. We were outside all the time, walking on train tracks, like doing all that shit, which is awesome. I think I don't want my girls doing it, but it was awesome. And I think now, just the predatory environment, they have easier access now. And I have this discussion with a good friend of mine. At first, I'm like, oh, there wasn't that many pedophiles or whatever back in the day. You know what? I think there were, but I think it was harder for them to target certain kids or individuals because the internet's changed everything. It's just opened up it's like when the fishermen cast a huge net. Now they can just reach somebody through video games, platforms, social media, chat rooms, you name it. And so I think the predatory environment is one of my number one challenges right now that I face, and I'm going to face until they're older. And I have to teach them certain things, monitor certain things, and make them aware of their surroundings, from internet to like literally a snatch and grab in the parking lot. They have to know, and my girls know when they're with me, just stay tight on dad. And they're like vacuum to my hips. And I don't let them like run like 50 feet ahead if we're out in public, because people have no idea. When you see certain videos, 3 seconds, they're gone. And you can't do nothing about it. You're not catching them. So it's that predatory environment is number one on my radar.
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah,
especially with the rise of human trafficking, sex trafficking, child
absolutely.
trafficking, all that stuff. Like
Yep.
you said, 3 minutes or less. I'm sure they probably got it. These professionals have it so
3
quick.
seconds, dude. A
3
van pulls
seconds.
up, they grab
3
your
seconds.
kid, even adults. I've seen adult snatches in 2 seconds. A guy like me or you that's strong and all right, you're driving a van. I open the door, like somebody's putting their groceries in the car. Their back is turned, they're not aware, right? You're a driver, you pull up. I just grab them, throw them in the van, you step on it. That's 2 seconds. Never see that person again. I mean, I'm not saying live in fear, don't get me wrong, but you have to be hyper vigilant 24/7, basically.
Yeah.
So, and I'll be honest, especially nowadays, most people aren't. Oh, it's not going to happen here. Happens in poor neighborhoods and it happens in the most wealthiest of neighborhoods. No one is immune to this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And I think too, back in the day, I think my personal take on it is I think the same amount of predatory behavior was around, but it was easy to conceal back in the day because no one said anything. Because you
yeah.
know what? Like, oh, a 6-year-old's going to say to their mommy or daddy that, hey, so and so like touched me.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to
They
believe a
also say the
6-year-old,
tooth fairy's real. So there you go.
right? So with predatory behavior comes
Mm-hmm.
manipulation, right? If you're a
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
predator, you want that power, and a 6-year-old scared to death after they've been violated, and then all that stuff comes to light: shame, guilt, anger, all that crazy emotion after it actually happens.
Yeah.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
the internet has now made these predators more prevalent, I think, but also too, it's brought to light that you can catch them a lot easier because now you can set up certain stings to get these predators, draw them out. And I
Yeah.
think because they're so sick in the head, they'll buy into it and then they'll get nailed. So social media has changed, the internet's changed everything, both for the good and the bad.
Agreed.
And you probably face this challenge too, since you are now co-parenting. How do you think the internet has affected? How do you think the internet has affected your co-parenting style?
It's a good question. The internet hasn't changed my personal co-parenting, but it does change other people's co-parenting because some some people that are co-parenting don't naturally have skills, parenting skills. So they'll just look something up, follow Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and they get their parenting advice or examples from there. Now, there are some good ones, but I personally think you should come up with your own, to be honest with you, and maybe sift through all that to get like extra good things. But most people don't and can't make decisions themselves anymore. They need that 50 other people validation. And you can see it with like, especially here in the Northeast, little kids' birthday parties and stuff.
Mm.
They have these huge, elaborate things for a 2-year old, a 3-year old. I'm not saying don't blow it out and have a party for your boy or girl. Absolutely. But now it's just, oh, I got to outdo the Joneses. I got to up the ante on them and I got to spend more. I got to have more. It's just out of control. And it loses sight of it's about the kid's birthday. Let's just keep it like that. By the way, they're 2 and they're not going to remember. You don't need to have friggin' astronauts drop down from a helicopter on, ponies spray painted as unicorn. It's crazy. Some of these parties are crazy. So I'm not saying don't spoil your kids, but there's just certain ways to do it. Getting back to your question, it doesn't change how I parent or do things. I look for things that can help me or aid me in, like, I get some fresh ideas, maybe like, oh, that's a good idea. Let me look into that. But some people, this is my opinion, some people naturally have parenting skills and some don't. It's fine not to, but do the work and talk to people that maybe are good parents and listen and all that instead of just Monday I do this because I saw it on Instagram. Tuesday I do the opposite because I saw it on TikTok. Kids thrive on consistency. It's pretty much one of the number one things. Structure, discipline, and people have different things on that, which is fine, and consistency. I think if you have those 3, you're good. Your kids will be fine, and you can teach and guide them as they grow.
I like that.
And a lot of people mistake parenting. You hear this all the time, like, oh, parenting's so hard, da da da. I think parenting is exhausting, tired, but it's worth it. It's for a reason. It's for a good reason. You're exhausted, it's tiring, but it's not hard. And I think people, flip those two and confuse them, So yeah, I'm exhausted. I talk to moms and dads at school. Oh my God, it's so hard. Like, no, it's not hard. It's just tiring. But a lot of people, especially nowadays, don't want to spend actual time with their kids. I was out to dinner with Lawrence the other day, said to say hello. And there was a table, it was a family it was mom, dad, 3 kids. Literally 3 kids, 3 different iPads, the entire meal. Slouched, feet up on the bench, watching a show like they're literally sitting on their couch at home. First of all, no iPad in my opinion. Sit up. I remember all the sit up and eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure your parents did that too. Sit up. They're all slouched down, their feet up, like you're at a restaurant, and act accordingly. Like that was instilled in me. So it's sad to say that, but most people will just throw an iPad at a situation so they don't have to deal with it. Little do they know, like the light from the screen and all that stuff. It's not good for their little brains. So you see it on planes and stuff like that. I don't even own an iPad. I don't even have one. You don't need it. They're fine. Give them other things to do. They will have fun and figure it out. They'll be a kid. So
That's got to be tough, though. I mean, when we were younger, we were allowed to be kids. Like we had action figures, or we played
yeah,
sports all the time. And I mean, going to summer camp, we play sports until like I remember I had this conversation with a buddy of mine growing up. We get dropped off at like 8:30 in the morning. We'd have our water cooler, our lunch that our moms made, and
it's the best.
we just played. And I feel like now, and give me your thoughts on this statement. Do you feel that people have kids just to have as like a novelty? Like you look at
100%.
like you have these people that'll have a dog or a cat, and they just, oh, I have a cat, I have a dog.
Yep.
Do you think people just have kids just for the sake of saying, hey, I have a kid?
Of course. Of course. It's to check the box. A lot of it's in the Northeast here. I know it's everywhere. I pick on the Northeast, which I think I can because I'm from here and I live here. But yes, it's to check a box. And they are, to a lot of these people, accessories. That's all it is. They think they could just put them in, like, those stupid little dogs people put in a bag and the girls walk around. They think kids are like that too, and it's not like that. They're relying on you, and they're not. You can't just like put them back. You're not renting like a tool at Home Depot and then you're done with it and you could put it back. Like it doesn't work like that.
Right.
A lot of people have that mentality around here. So yes, to answer your question, I think they do it just to check a box, to say they have it, to look normal and all that. But it's the real parents, and there are a lot of them out there, see it, look right through it, and have zero respect for it.
You mentioned something earlier, and I want to just go back to real quick about parenting being natural, I think, or something like that, right? Like having those natural parenting instincts.
Yeah.
So differentiate between having common sense and innate parenting. Let's say that. Do you think there's a difference, or do you need common sense to be an innate parent, or can you be an innate parent but lack common sense? Like common sense says, I'm not going to go mutilate my genitals to become a woman because I was born a man. God made me a man. But
Yeah.
you see some people that might be a good parent, meaning good house, food, they've got all their needs covered, but yet, hey, honey, if you want to go mutilate your genitals, excuse me, then you have
Yeah.
go for it. I mean,
Yeah.
do you think, and I use that as an example
Yeah.
because common sense is, I would, but
Yeah.
when you're 18 and you want to make that choice, that's fine. But when you're under 18, I feel like, you're not fully developed yet. You're not even fully developed at 18, to be honest with you. So, but give us if you can lay out that kind of difference between the two, I think that would be interesting to hear your perspective on that.
So I was told this from a good friend. He's actually from Ghana. Common sense isn't for common people.
I like that.
Most people don't have common sense, and nowadays it's completely lost on the general public, in my opinion. No one just uses common sense. And some people naturally have it, some people don't. If you don't have common sense, you can still surround yourself with people and learn to a degree. But I think it's the parents that I see up here. Very few have common sense. And you can see it in 2 seconds, the one that do and the one that don't have it. And I think if you don't have it, they don't know that they don't have it. That's the problem. But they're not interested in becoming a better parent. Like, how always, oh, you should always better yourself. And, oh, I'm a healing and I'm this and that, which is great. But there's categories for that. And especially if you have a kid, don't you want to be 1% better than yesterday as a parent? And then 1% better. You should always want to strive to be better when you have kids, for your kids. It's not for you, it's for them. Because they are looking at every little thing. And it's hard when you're co-parenting, like you said, when the two parties, the two camps are pretty much opposite when in their styles. Everyone has their own style. I'm not saying right or wrong. So everyone's like, oh, what are you right? And the other person's wrong. No, I'm not saying that. But like you always say, read the room. See how the kids are behaving. If they're behaving one way in one place, another, the exact opposite in the other, something's going on, in my opinion. And they're always going to act differently in two households, but it shouldn't be polar opposite behavior, in my opinion. But nobody wants to take accountability. Here comes the accountability now in the parenting world. We're always talking about people being accountable to themselves. So if they're not accountable with their own lives, they're not going to be accountable as a parent or a co-parent. So it's always something else. Oh, the problem's here, or the problem's there, or it's the coach, or it's the teacher, or the school, or it's their friends, or their friends' parents. It's never the nucleus, which is the home.
Well, society's been trying to destroy the nuclear family now for how many years?
They're doing a great job.
And I think that is a challenge for both parents and kids because, growing up, if you don't have that now, there's no perfect model of how a man and woman should interact, but
Mhm.
it does play a role in the development of a child when they see how a woman is treated or how a man treats a woman or
Correct.
how to be like that. We talk about, the love that your parents had for each other and the
Mhm.
letters and all that, which is
Yeah,
awesome because I feel sometimes that romance is kind of dead. I feel like social media
I
and
agree.
all the stuff with the girls
I agree.
about body counts and all the stuff. Like I
Mhm.
watch I watch old TV shows because I'm a romantic at heart because I still believe in true romance at some point.
Mhm.
But I find that it's kind of like on life support, and I feel with parenting too. If you don't have or you said structured discipline,
Yeah.
um, and not structured discipline,
Consistency.
consistency. That's what it was.
Mhm.
Um, and I think those are three elements. Whether you're together or you're in a co-parenting situation,
Absolutely.
is
Absolutely.
important, and for your partner to kind of carry that over to their you
Mhm.
know time with them as well. So my next question is like what are you currently doing in your parenting style to ensure that your children can see a proper or some type of normalcy? Like we don't like
Mhm.
normal is relative to the individual, but when there's no mom and dad present, it can
Mhm.
pose challenges.
Yeah.
In the time you spend with your girls, what tactics or what strategies do you use to create that quote unquote normalcy so that your girls can stay on the right path as they get older?
Yeah. So that's a great question. And what I do is I do the structure, discipline, consistency. So when they're with me, their guard and their, I'll call it stress or pressure, is gone because they know I'm with dad now, all good. I know I'm just using an example. Wednesday, I come home from school, I do this, I do that, shower, read book, bed. So it sounds simple,
No, it's
but
awesome.
but if you're consistent with that and it becomes a routine, kids love routine, it's no problem. Like I literally, all right, let's get ready for bed. And it's like they race to the bathroom, they get their floss. My girls are awesome. They floss twice a day. Like Jesus. I
Better than
give them
me.
all the better than me. They floss, they floss and then they brush. They run into their rooms, put their PJs on. Then we all meet in Farah's room, read a book. It's awesome, but it's that in itself, it's structure. It seems simple, but when you do it consistently in their brains, it calms them down. They're focused. It's not all over the place. They're not rolling the dice like, oh, what's coming next? Do I have to like get ready for this? Am I gonna see dad? Like, is he leaving it? No, it's all good. He's here, he's present. That's the other thing. Oh, I'm present. I'm present. You might be physically with your kids. You might be physically sitting next to them or on the couch or wherever. But are you there? Are you really there? I look at, and I'm not faulting any parents. Like we go swimming every Saturday. My kids been swimming since they were 2 months old each. And I'm not saying to stare at your kids during the whole entire lesson, but pay attention. Most parent on their phone. It's Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. Who the fuck you talking to? Let's keep it real. You're, come on. I'm just saying. They're scrolling or shopping or whatever they're doing. just pay attention. The kid's watching you. I make sure, because they look to see if I'm looking. I have hand signals from my girls. They know. Like, good job or straighten your legs out, whatever. I just give hand signals at this point and they're good. They know I'm there. They know I'm laser focused on them. It's all good. And it's sad. It saddens me because most people just aren't present with their kids. But you can tell from the kids' behavior which parents are tuned in, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And I like to gravitate towards them, and especially like the kids in Farah's class, like you can see which ones are better than others, and like, hey, yeah, so and so, hang out with so and so, and they usually will gravitate towards each other because the ones that don't have that structure or whatever, they kind of act out a little more, just act a little different. And kids that have that stability don't really tend to hang out with those kids that much, thank God. But it's sad to say, but it's I'm the minority, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm far from a perfect parent,
Right.
but at least I'm vested in them, and I want to be better and better each day with them. I want it because it's only going to help them, and there's such a short window. There's only short time they go to hold my hand. Like, I don't have to ask, but I know the time's going to come where they're like, bye-bye. Like, drop me off around the corner from school. Like, all of that. I know that's coming. So I'm embracing every minute of it. Like, little Ruby's like, can we go for a walk with, like, she likes to have her little stroller with her baby. Can we go for a walk? I'm like, following you. Let's go. And she holds my hand, like, with the stroller. Like, it's great. I can't with that. I love it.
And it's funny because
Simple things.
But the phones and the iPads, because I think I know as a society we are probably dopamine dominant, and we
Yeah.
need that type of that quick
Mhm.
fix, like the
Mhm.
transmission of information and news and
Mhm.
sports and scores and who's reaching
Yeah.
out to me. Did they respond back? I'm waiting for the so the speed at which we expect stimulus
Instant.
coming at us, right?
Instant.
We expect it and we have to absorb this stuff that's
Mhm.
coming at us. And it's like to say, hey, you know what? Like, be vested.
Mhm.
I think that was the perfect adjective to describe, parenting, being vested. You don't have to be perfect, just be vested. Be vested in your children.
It's a simple thing. So at my house, especially during like school days, we don't watch TV in the mornings. No. Kids naturally are like zombies when you put shows on. And there are some great TV shows that are educational, love them. And I'm not like I let them watch TV. However, there's no TV in the morning and there's no TV at dinner. We barely watch TV here. We'll watch TV maybe on a weekend because we have movie night, something like that. Or it could be on the background, like on the weekend if we're doing something. They're cleaning their rooms or whatever, like, you can have it on. But now they're outside. If it's nice out, we're outside. I
Yeah.
don't care. And here's the thing, like, they love riding bikes and all that. Sometimes I just sit back and watch, and I don't like give them things to do or whatever. And I watch, they play with sticks, and we have a big tree stump, and they make it their castle. And I just sit back and watch them like they're just being kids. I'm not going to say, hey, are you going to ride your bike more? No. They run around, they pick flowers, they just do dumb shit. They dig in the dirt. I love it. We're growing a garden, they're all into it, like, cool. But let them be a kid. You don't have to. Parents nowadays think it's their job to entertain. Entertain. Let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go to the bounce house. Let's go there. There's hardly ever a chance to actually just be a kid. Kids need to figure out how to self-soothe. I don't like really saying that, but like, figure out your day to a degree and go have fun. Go make something out of something. And it's a great thing to see when they do it. It sounds so simple, but it's like lost. Because all these kids, a lot of parents, they want to be their kid's friend. You can be friends when they're adults. Obviously, my kids are my best friend. I tell them that. That's not what I mean. When it comes to like structure and discipline, you cannot be friends with your kids. There has to be, in my opinion, a line of demarcation. It is, I'm the parent, You're the child. You have to listen to what I say because I'm your parent. I'm your dad. I don't have to give you a reason. I don't have to explain to a 3-year-old why I don't want them to do something. I'll do it so they learn, but I don't have to do it. Oh, thank you for sharing your feelings with me while we're no. Rules. Daddy said no, don't do it. Okay, no problem. And they'll do it again. Fine. Or they test and they'll try to do it, and that's another conversation. But parents nowadays, a lot of them, I want to be like best friends with my kid. How's that working for you, by the way? Your kid's an animal, and they're the example of what not to be in the class. And it's not even the kid's fault. You can't even blame the kids because it's all from home at a young age. So there has to be that structure when there's a fine line like parent child. When you put your foot down, that's it. I'm still afraid of my mom to this day. If she says don't do this, I'm not doing it. So and I'm not saying like instill the fear of God in them, but I want some sort of boundary. That's it.
Well, and I think too, with the rise of social media, internet, as in regards to activity levels for children, you can basically stay home and play video games with kids all over the world, and it's really not.
Yeah.
I feel it's not conducive to stimulate a child. Whereas if you get a child involved in sports or swimming or arts and crafts or a church group or something that's uplifting and positive, and that's actually you're getting your kids to move and do stuff, stimulating, that there provides structure. I mean, some of my fondest memories were involved in local sports, town sports.
Absolutely.
And again, sports are great. You can learn a lot from sports, with discipline and all that, but also in regards to your ways of, parenting, providing structure. Like if the coach tells you to do something, or a coach will develop you, obviously having a foundation from your mom and dad to be open, because a lot of people are not coachable.
No, I agree.
Even adults are not coachable. A lot of
Yep.
adults are not open to feedback. And it's tough when you're almost 50 years old and you can't accept feedback.
It's not personal.
It's not
And
personal.
everyone
It's
takes
feedback.
it so personal. These like all these feelings going on nowadays. It's too much. I'm not the one good thing in school systems and stuff, they have a lot of resources. They have counselors, they have outlets for kids to go to that a lot of kids at home, even parents, even kids that have both parents, they have that extra third party help. I think that's a wonderful thing and it's needed clearly. But it can get too much where you can get the kids stuck in neutral with the whole feelings and this and that. Like, no, it's okay. Talk to somebody and then move forward. You always have, but a lot of kids can't share their feelings with their parents because they're afraid. So it's a good thing to have counselors and outlets to talk to. I think it's a great thing.
Right.
You had mentioned earlier, like the trans thing. We have friends. We had close friends that have transitioned as adults.
Yep.
As adults. I have absolutely zero problem with that. I don't give a shit. As long as they're happy, I'm happy for them.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
As long as you're happy, cool. Just keep it away from kids. And I don't understand why they are. I do understand why they're going after kids and stuff like that.
Of course.
Whole different conversation, but just keep it away from kids. I go to the library with the girls. Our new thing is I got them cards and they were all excited. We'll go every week and we pick out books, like 3 books each for the week. So we have books for at night and the weekend.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And they love the whole process. It's great. However, there is a section that's front and center that caught my attention. And I won't get into super specifics, but I was like, why is, of course it's front and center. They have to pass it to get to the other things. I'm like, great location. And it's colorful. So I just picked up one of the books and I was like, geez, they're not ready for that yet. I'm not saying they can't read it, but not in kindergarten. They got to learn about this stuff first. And then, So like even like sex ed now. Remember sex education? Like it was like 5th grade or something.
Of course.
Like basic shit.
Mm.
Sex ed in a lot of places now is doesn't do that. They're teaching about other things. I'm not saying don't educate kids, but I think there's like age appropriate things. It shouldn't be in elementary schools. I don't even think it should be in middle school. Like whatever. It's just I think you're creating more problem, and we've allowed it to go so far now that it's going to be hard to reel it back in. And
Yep.
it's confusing to little kids. They don't know anything yet. They don't even have the executive function part of their brain developed yet. But you're going to hormone block and do this and that. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. If you want to do it as an adult, and
No problem.
I don't have to subsidize it, and it comes out of your pocket
All good.
financially,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're happy and you treat people with respect and kindness. I
All
have
good.
friends down here that have transitioned. I had friends in New York, so I'm good. Like I don't have a problem with it. I just shouldn't have to pay for it.
I
Like
have friends, guys to girls and girls to guys.
same.
All good. And they're great people. And they're very, very educated and smart. All good. They actually contribute to society. They're not a leech. They're not just like draining and sucking the resources.
Yep.
So that's another thing that they have to be educated on, unfortunately, at a young age. Because the question, why is that? Why are they doing that? Like, oh, here we go. And then you have to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And
I
it's so
mean,
trendy now. People just do things for trends,
oh, it's
especially
ridiculous.
up here, especially all the moms with the stupid trendy shit. And it's a bad look. And you're doing harm to your kids.
It's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Hmm.
No matter how things change, old school principles still work. Whether it's in sports,
Hmm.
whether it's in life, right and wrong is still right and wrong. Listening to your gut instincts about what you
Hmm.
should and shouldn't do,
Yeah.
morality versus immorality, the old school ways of thinking, we'll say old school, and as we are now in the 21st century, those foundational thought processes and those foundational practices are still as relevant back then as they should be now in 20. Granted, you shouldn't hit your kids, right? I mean,
Of
I
course.
got I got spanked as we all did growing up, but
Yeah.
it helped me tremendously. I wouldn't change it for the world. Are there
I still
alternative
don't know
ways?
how you drive a car. It must be like triple jointed or quadruple jointed, and I'm directly behind you. How you get smacked? It's amazing. It blows my mind. But I never did it again.
Right?
Okay. Now
There's
I
no
don't I would
right.
I don't believe in that now. I believe in it for me then. Yes.
Of course.
But not now. But you know what? It's not needed. If you d taking everything that I was taught and learned, bring it now, there don't even need it. It's just now it's just a conversation. That's what I like. That's what I think what the dinners, the breakfasts is when we sit together at a table.
Right.
We sit for breakfast, all of us, and we sit for dinner, all of us, and we talk. We FaceTime my mom in Florida every dinner for an hour. And they interact with grandma. They talk, they show her things, they talk about their day, like normal. Let's call grandma
Sure.
if they sit out. But like that sets up when they misbehave or push boundaries or test, it's just a conversation. All right, family meeting, or hey, listen, have a seat. And I get on their level, eye to eye, and like, okay, do you think that was a good choice? No, dad. I'm like, okay, why'd you do it or whatever? And it's, a lot of the times the kids don't know why they do it because they just do things to do it.
They're just
They don't
curious.
they don't know how to express verbally certain things, so it comes out other ways. That's fine. Just a conversation. And you keep it chill as best you can. That's the hard part. You keep it chill and they'll do it again, but it'll be less. And then eventually it goes away and they don't do it anymore. And you didn't have to raise your voice. You didn't have to get upset. Now, don't get me wrong. Every once in a while, yeah, you get a little upset when they do something. They also need to know that level of voice or that tone for safety purposes. So if you raise your voice at them, if they misbehave, okay. Here's an example. I was barbecuing what 2 weeks ago or whatever, and we have a couple different yards. We have like a cute little front yard. You saw it. We have a big backyard, and
Mhm.
there's a little fence in between, and the barbecue's like right up against that fence. I'm barbecuing. They're playing like next to me, like looking at the tomatoes and shit we're growing, and they're playing with their sticks and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I look up, and there's a huge coyote. He was gigantic, one of the biggest coyotes I've ever seen, like
No way.
10 feet from me. And I just said, and they saw me look, and Farrah looks, oh, Dad, what is that? And I said, get inside now. Get inside. 3 words. No hesitation. So proud of them. Beelined it inside. And the screen door closed. I go, shut the door. And they shut the door, and I walked out, and I got that thing to run away. But I was so proud because I've never had to do that before. And it instant, man. And it was a beautiful thing to see. And I know now if they hear that tone, they know what to do. So that'll translate now when we're in public, if something happens or whatever.
Right?
They didn't ask a question like, wait, what? What's going? No, no, no. Boom. Right inside. Because in the real world, if a situation pops off, if you're at shopping or if you're at Target or whatever, and there's a guy with a knife or a gun or whatever, they hear that tone, they'll do whatever I say, which is important. So I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I was
And I think,
and I made it known to them. I was extremely proud of them. That was a big deal. You guys did flawless, beautiful, great job. And now they'll know. They hear that tone, do what it says, and it's all good. Very proud of them.
yeah. And you should be proud of yourself because, again, you give your daughters that structure that a lot of children are lacking these days, and especially the challenges of being in a co-parenting relationship or situation where you know you might have structure in one place, but the structure might be a little discombobulated at another place,
Hmm.
and they know, like hey, when you're with dad, and they thrive when they're
Yeah.
with dad.
Yeah.
If the situation warrants that,
Hmm.
whatever parent they're with,
Yeah.
that at least they have that. And the challenges, and we can
Yeah.
continue this in a part two,
Yeah.
is what do you do when they're not with you? We've had conversations offline about the challenges you face and the
Yeah.
emotions that you go through. That I'm
Hmm.
sure thousands of fathers out there, especially men, because it's geared towards men, the emotions and the fears and the challenges they face. I'd really like to discuss more of that. Maybe we continue that in our part two
Yeah.
on our next episode and really get into that because I think that would be a huge area to dive into and
Yeah.
you know how you deal with that because a lot of guys don't have the support or the structure
Hmm.
that, let's just say, you have with your friends and family
Hmm.
or another person might have with their friends and family, whatnot. So,
Yeah.
being able to navigate those challenges and to be able to express those feelings, I know you probably speak for thousands and thousands of men out there that are kind of in your situation.
Yeah.
Greggy T, final thoughts. Take us home.
Final thoughts. I will say I'll lead up to part two with this. One of the best things a parent, man or woman, doesn't matter, mom or dad, can do that's co parenting is have structure, discipline, consistency, but add to that, don't talk shit about the other parent. As horrible as they may be,
Mm.
and you probably have all the right in the world to say 50,000 negative things a day. Say them to yourself. Don't let the kids catch on to that because your structure, discipline, consistency will help them navigate that other parent that doesn't have the structure or whatever. My whole job is to make sure when they're not with me to have the tools to navigate the other home life because there might not be the structure or anything else there. And they act differently at different places, like I said, but at least they know and have access to tools that were taught to them that they can exercise there if they're feeling a certain way or not feeling a certain way or not getting something, to practice what they do with dad's there, and it's all good. And it starts with never talking negatively within earshot or anything of the other person in front of your kids. Unfortunately, most don't do that. Most.
And it's funny, being in a situation like that, it can
Mhm.
really help shape and formulate how you look at the other parent as a child. If they're talking all that, it really does
You can see right. Yep. It's
plays
like
a role.
a glimpse into the past, and you're like, oh, there it is. That's where it all came from. It's just it because it's just an extension of what happened to them.
Yeah, and I mean,
So
this was just a really great talk, and I look forward to our part two. I think we
yeah.
have a lot of momentum going into that, and there's so many ways that we can dig into this topic
Hmm.
because it has many layers, many facets.
Yeah.
Um, I encourage people out there that are in the situation or just anyone in general, DM us, give us
Yeah.
feedback, drop Greg a line, um, you know, um, and pick his brain because he's been through it all, he's seen it all, and to come out of
Yeah.
it on the other end now and being able to have the platform to educate and help
Yeah.
counsel people that may not have this type of accessibility to this type of platform is huge. So please DM us. And Greggy T, where can they reach you for other related content?
Mhm. Just go to Empowerman or whatever, my personal Instagram. But the Deep End Fitness page is being worked on now, so it's not up yet for the people that want to do like CrossFit underwater and water, not water safety, more water confidence. That'll be up soon. I'm working on that. And any minute now, the rum will be in the vat of the distillery getting made. So it's right around the corner. So just hit me up on Empowerman or my personal Instagram. It's all good. And I have a lot of friends that are single fathers that crush it. And because they have this, what we spoke about. They practice, and their kids are thriving. And I love it. And they've been through also challenging situations with the mother of their kids, unfortunately, but they've risen to the top and raised good kids, boys and girls, and it's awesome to see that. Moms too. I know a lot of single moms, and they do a great job when they're handcuffed and all of that. We'll get into that in part two.
And we also know, show me five of your friends, and I'll
Of
show you your
course.
future.
It's so true. Your circle. It's so true.
Speaking of that, my
Hmm.
future is calling me to my third cup of coffee.
Yeah, hurry up, man.
So it's time to go grind and brew natural, unflavored coffee, coffee in its purest, rarest form, just like
Mhm.
Greggy Tea, pure and raw.
Yeah. Yes, that's right.
And
I'm
I'll
gonna
leave it
go
at
do
that.
back like an old school meathead. Deal with it.
Sounds like a plan. Everyone, have a very safe
Yeah.
weekend. We'll be back to do part two of this episode and also celebrate America's birthday, just
Yeah.
coming up.
Be careful out there, people. Have a plan. No one's coming, so figure it out yourself and just be ready. Don't live in fear, but be ready and just protect your own.
And protesters, beware.
They're all the same. All right, man. Take care, everybody.
God bless.